3 a.m. My front door exploded inward with a thunderous crack. Rachel Walsh, my HOA president, came charging in wearing steel-toed boots flanked by 2 armed men with tranquilizer guns. My retired K9 partners Shadow and Luna stood locked and ready, their growls vibrating through the floor. In that split second, I knew this wasn't about HOA fines anymore. It was war, and the entire internet was watching it live. Act 1. The beginning of trouble. When my wife Emma and I moved into Oakfield Gardens, I thought I'd finally found peace. 15 years as a K9 officer left me craving quiet mornings, a safe neighborhood, a place where Shadow and Luna could just enjoy retirement. The reviews online made Oakfield Gardens look perfect. I was unloading the first box when Rachel appeared, clipboard in hand, blonde hair, 2 perfect smiles stretched tight across her face like plastic wrap. "Welcome to Oakfield Gardens. I'm Rachel, your HOA president," she chirped. But here's the part that chilled me. She knew my name, she knew about the dogs, and she carried a fresh printed rule book that read like a death sentence. No dogs. Over 50 pounds. No security cameras. Grass exactly. 2 inches high. Paint colors require board approval. Shadow and Luna each weigh over 80 pounds. They weren't pets. They were veterans who'd saved lives. Rachel's smile faltered for just a second when I told her that. Not fear recognition. Like she already knew who I was. The harassment started immediately. Day 3, unauthorized dog breeds, $300 fine. Day 5, grass violation, $200. Day 7, mailbox reflectivity standards, $150. By the end of the week, the stack of violations looked like a Vegas jackpot slip. Emma stared at the papers. "Honey, this is insane. The grass is perfect." I knew she was right. It wasn't about grass or mailboxes. Someone was testing how far they could push us. That's when Jim showed up, the accountant next door, clipboard of his own, but not in the HOA way. He'd been tracking Rachel's pattern. "Dude, she's forced 6 families to sell in the last 2 years," he told me, flipping through spreadsheets. Sterling Properties LLC bought them all for 30% below market. My stomach dropped. This wasn't just power abuse, it was organized theft. But I still didn't know why she was targeting me specifically. That came later, and when it did, it made my blood run cold. Act 2. Escalation and the twist. The first major hit came when I found poisoned meat scattered around my fence line. Shadow sniffed, then barked the danger alert he'd been trained for. The vet confirmed sedative's precise dosage for large dogs. Not enough to kill, just enough to make them sick, justified dangerous animal complaints. I called the cops furious, but the officer just sighed. "Hard to prove intent. Document everything. Talk to a lawyer. Translation, you're on your own." That night I pulled out my old cop instincts. Rachel Walsh, HOA president for barely 3 months. Moved here right after I bought the house. Won her election with 12 votes. Digging deeper, the truth hit me like a gut punch. She was the sister of Victor Viper Walsh. 2014. My K9 unit busted Victor's underground dog-fighting empire. We rescued 89 dogs. He went away for 12 years. It was the biggest animal abuse case of my career. Now his sister had followed me for a decade, wormed her way into my neighborhood, and was tearing my life apart. This wasn't about HOA rules. This was revenge. When I confronted her, she dropped the act. Her voice went cold. "You destroyed our family's legacy. Now I'll destroy yours." From then on, things spiraled. Dead ravens nailed to my door with notes saying, "Your mutts are next." Tires slashed. Threatening letters mentioning Victor's release date. I hit a breaking point one night. Sitting at the kitchen table, head in my hands, Emma begging me to leave. "Luke, please, this isn't worth it. She's going to kill the dogs, or worse, she's going to kill you." For the first time, I doubted myself. Maybe Rachel was right. Maybe I'd brought this on us when I put her brother away. Maybe this was my punishment. I almost packed a bag. But then Jim showed me the emails. Rachel's operational plan written out step by step. Phase 1, financial harassment. Phase 2, isolate target through community manipulation. Phase 3, direct action. Remove dogs permanently tonight. That was the wake-up call. This wasn't about me being stubborn. It was about stopping a criminal who'd already destroyed too many families. So I made a choice. I wasn't going to run. I was going to trap her, expose her, and end this. Jim and I set up cameras, backup power, live stream equipment. We let the neighborhood know. By the time Rachel was ready to make her final move, hundreds of people were waiting online to watch. Act 3. The Showdown. The night of the attack, Oakfield Gardens felt like a battlefield. Neighbors in their windows with phones ready, Jim in my living room with the broadcast system, Shadow and Luna in full alert positions. At 2:58 a.m., Rachel's voice hissed outside. "What the hell is wrong with this key?" The so-called master key failed. Her composure cracked. "Screw your locks. I have authority here." And then, boom! She kicked the door off its hinges, wood splintering, glass shattering, boots pounding across my floor. Two men followed her in night vision gear, tranquilizer guns drawn. Rachel's eyes were wild. "Where are Victor's dogs? Where's the snitch cop?" One of the men lifted his gun toward Shadow. That was it. My voice dropped into the command I hadn't used since service attack. Shadow launched like a missile-perfect police takedown. Luna mirrored him, slamming the second man to the ground in coordinated pack formation. The live-stream comments exploded, thousands of people watching two retired K9s dismantle armed intruders in real time. Rachel froze, staring at me, her face drained of color. "Call them off. They'll kill us." I kept my voice steady. "Only if you make me give the order." Lights blazed on cameras everywhere. Rachel Walsh, sister of convicted felon Victor Walsh. I said, my voice carrying to 6,000 witnesses online, "You've just committed armed home invasion on live video." Her response was a complete meltdown. Spit flying, screaming at the cameras. "I don't care who's watching. Victor built an empire and you destroyed it." I stared her down. "Your brother tortured animals for profit. You've been stalking me for 10 years because of it." Her eyes burned with hate. "Those dogs were just inventory. Family honor means more than animals." That was her mistake. Because every single word was recorded, streamed, saved. By the time the police arrived, sirens blaring, neighbors flooding in. As witnesses, Rachel was flailing, shrieking, claiming she was the HOA president with authority. But no one was listening. Sergeant Martinez looked around at the wreckage, the restrained criminals, the cameras still rolling. "Ma'am," he said flatly, "you're under arrest." Rachel thrashed against the cuffs, screaming, "Victor will finish what I started. You'll never be safe." I met her glare with ice. "Tell Victor his sister failed spectacularly." And just like that, she was shoved into the back of a squad car, her empire in ruins, her decade-long plan obliterated in front of thousands of witnesses. Closing line. Evil hides in plain sight, sometimes behind a clipboard and a fake smile. But the moment you stand your ground, bullies lose their power.